Hello, my lovelies. It's Empress Rose here, and welcome to this reading. We're going to be doing mini readings for each of the zodiacs, and they're all going to be time-stamped. I've combined 3 decks, but then I made them into 3 different decks. So we have our major arcana is going to be the situation. Our court cards are going to be what role are you playing? Who are you in the situation? And then our last card will be the minor arcana, our best path forward, more like a to-do list or a way to view the situation or see the situation that might be helpful to us. So that's what we're doing here. Let's get started with Aries. All right. Okay. All right. We have, the situation, Empress, dealing with issues of abundance, of being enough, of adequacy, having enough, needing to do things for yourself, needing to do, take care of yourself. We've got quite a bit of shine on there. So abundance, harvesting, taking care of ourselves, taking care of our loved ones, taking care of our own business. There's a sense of harvesting here too, of bringing in that which we've already earned, that which we've already achieved and accomplished. She has it very well in hand. What is hers is very much hers, male or female, this person or this situation. What's yours is yours. There's a sense of being capable and being able to take care of yourself, take care of your needs. It's a little bit of a solo vibe. This one reminds me of the little red hen who asked for help and no one would help, but everyone would be happy to eat the pie or the cake or whatever she ends up making. Everyone's happy to eat it and partake of it and feed off the banquet that the Empress has prepared, but no one wanted to prepare it. So that's a little bit of the vibe I'm getting. Honestly, she seems a little annoyed. I mean, being self-sufficient is great, right? That's, in a way, we're all interconnected too, but being self-sufficient is good. Being able to take care of ourselves, not having to be beholden to other people, not having to be dependent upon other people, not having to play by other people's rules just so that we can survive. So that's good. So there's a sense of independence, but there's also a sense of, independence, needing separate and independent abundance. So that's sort of the overall situation. I mean, who can argue with that situation? But your role in the situation is messenger of air. So this is our Knight of Swords, communication about communication. Maybe there's a sense of you needing something. Maybe you need more independence in a situation. Maybe you need more freedom. And you need to communicate about that, about what you see, about what you think. You're definitely communicating about some sort of a need for more independence. You're communicating about earnings, abundance. Maybe you're asking for a raise because you realize that you're doing a lot. This can be about providing for yourself, and then your job here, or who you are, is you're the talker. Maybe you're providing for yourself through talking. Maybe you're providing for yourself through asking questions, getting clarification, understanding something. This could be education. This could be teaching. This can be looking at how you will provide, how you'll feel comfortable and confident. And there's a lot of communication that needs to happen around that. Precise, quick, clear communication. If this is what you want, and who doesn't want to be an Empress energy? You need to be communicating. You are the communicator. You're the only one that's going to be able to do this. Oh yeah, with the Empress, you're the only one that can communicate. You're the only one that can say what you need. You're the only one that can ask for what you need. You're going to have to do this yourself. You're going to have to initiate a lot. in order to get your needs met, in order to take care of yourself. So that's why I was getting a little bit of a interdependence here. You are going to have to be providing all of the communication, all of the clarity, all of the understanding. Where you need clarity, go find it. You have to take a lot of initiative. You have to be very courageous, very brave here in order to get that clarity, in order to move towards that clarity, in order to move towards that abundance, building the life you want. You're going to have to be initiating a lot of communication around that. So not just leaving it to chance, not leaving it for other people to do, and not just assuming that, well, if they had something to say, they would say it. You have to be very proactive here. And it's going to take some courage and bravery to be as proactive as you need to in order to get your needs met, in order to, because there was a bit of interdependence with this Empress that I was picking up on. It's not just her, she's interdependent with the earth. She's interdependent with others in her community. I mean, she is providing for herself insofar as anybody does, but she's not wanting to be dependent on fully dependent on others. Interdependent is a very different thing, but having the confidence to be able to speak up in that interdependence, in that web of community that we find ourselves in, speaking up is a very important way of getting your own needs met. So say something, be brave, be bold. Your best path forward, Four of Pentacles, saving up your money, saving up your pennies, saving up your pennies. There's always a clingy vibe here, but Four of Pentacles, if we're talking about your best path forward, we're talking about a very conservative approach. So we have the Messenger of Air. This is about abundance. This could be about work. This could be about something like that. So you're needing to be fiscally conservative right now, and fiscally very careful right now. So this is a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Sometimes the tarot asks us to take leaps forward. Sometimes the tarot asks us to hold on. And this is what the tarot is asking us, is very conservative approach. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush here, but needing to communicate your needs on your path for abundance. But we're not saying don't let go of what we are saying is don't let go of what you've got in your hand right now. Not a lot of risk taking. The risk is going to be only in communication, but that's just courage. That just boldness. But there's no you shouldn't be taking financial risks. You shouldn't be taking. You should be playing it pretty safe with your material goods. All right, Aries. Next up is Taurus. Wow, that was longer than I expected it to be. Wait. No, that's not going to work. We're just going to have to move on. All right, Taurus. Okay, overall, we have the World card. We have things changing, things moving, everything moving. It's the final chapter. It's the end of an era. It's the end of something where everything's gone kind of back to the beginning. We've completed a lot. We've completed a whole year. This is almost like the birthday card. Like you've made it another cycle through. And here we are back at the beginning, back where things began again. Everything's different. Everybody's different. And this also talks about these larger patterns outside of our control, these larger things outside of our control. It could be anything. I mean, wow, we really just have every animal in the world here. Everything. So it feels to me like everything has changed, everything has shifted for you. And this is the end of a big shift. Like everything's settling back down into its spot here. So there was some big tumult. This is reminding me of Boggle. It's reminding me of Boggle, where you shake it and then you like shift it down. And then now we have a new game beginning. But this is more of an ending. It's reminding me of Boggle, but it's reminding me of the beginning of Boggle rather than the ending of Boggle, where just all of the little cubes kind of get in place. And now we can start again on a new game. But there's just been upheaval, there's been shifts, there's been changes, and things are kind of settling down to baseline. This is the end of the story. This is where, we get the closing music, we get the wrap up of everything, that kind of thing. So So something's wrapping up here. Something's ending. A big cycle, a big tumult, a big disruptive energy is kind of settling down. Like after the storm is kind of quieting down. There's the quiet before the storm, and there's the quiet after the storm, which is also the quiet before a new storm comes in. So something's quieting down, something's coming to an end. Who are you in the situation? You are King of Swords. You are fair. You are balanced. You see very clearly. You have a lot of clarity. I like this. We've had this big tumult here, and here you are. You can see what's going on. You can see what's happened. You can be fair too. You're like, okay, that's what happened, but also I understand there were extenuating circumstances. So this King of Swords, he has the truth. He has clarity. He has understanding, or she. You are, and also there's a lot of initiative with a king. There's a lot of leadership with a king. There's someone that really knows what they're talking about here. So I mean, but it's tempered with a sense of, okay, I know what I'm talking about, but I also understand that there are still things I don't know about what just happened and what just went on. I don't know. But you're showing up very beautifully with a lot of clear-headed thinking, and I'm very well balanced. Being able to balance like what you know as the truth, but also what might not, but also understanding all that you don't know. And you intuit something here, and you're able to incorporate that. So there's not a harsh truth. There's not a just the facts, ma'am. There's like facts. Okay, I see that. There's also some emotion here, so let's take that into account. There's also things we don't know. Very lovely, balanced energy. And there's a sense of being in charge and being a leader with all that you know and all that you sense. There's just, you're very well balanced here. You're very well situated. Whatever lessons were to be learned in this latest tumult, you've gotten them. You've received them. You understand something. You've learned a lot through this last little upheaval in your life. You've learned quite a bit. You are much wiser for it. And you can use this wisdom to help guide other people, to help be... it's not a private wisdom. It's a wisdom that's out here. You're not going to soon forget these lessons that you've learned. You will not be forgetting. We have all these poppies here. Today is what we call Veterans Day, so that's what's reminding me of we're not soon forgetting, you know, all that we've gone through. This is almost like the war coming to an end, and you've learned some things. You're wiser. You've made it through, and you have a richer, deeper understanding. You're not about to forget any of the lessons that you've just learned. And then what your best path forward might be is Ace of Water. Beginning a new emotional journey, a new relationship, a new connection with someone. And maybe this is the same, maybe we've closed out a cycle with one person, but we're beginning again anew with that person. Or I kind of feel like this is a new person or a new connection here. Something that you love, something that ignites you, something that you feel deeply connected to. Ace of Water, this is the beginning of a deep connection, and whether that's with a new project. I love how we have the World here, a big ending, and then we have the Ace here, a new beginning, a new beginning, a new chapter. A new chapter of a new book, and this is going to be a very emotional book. There's a new emotional beginning here for you, and this could be a connection, a deep emotional connection to something, or to another person. Ace Water usually talks about relationships with one another, which is where our emotions really come in handy, or not handy, but where they're most prevalent. Could be an animal. Could be a horse. There is, we do have a seahorse here, so that has a lot of father vibe. And this King of Swords has a very, so male or female, you could be providing some sort of protection for some sort of new emotional connection. The seahorses are very much the father, the totem animal of fatherhood. But there's this deep feeling here, and a holding on to something, a new emotional beginning, a new connection, new feelings. All right, Taurus. And Gemini, what do we have for you? All right. Gemini, the overall situation is justice, fairness, integrity. Talking about integrity, talking about making sure that our actions, not only our actions are right, but I also always see motivations and integrity behind this. Like, we want to go somewhere. If we want to go somewhere, there's all these questions of exactly how do we get there? How do we get there in a way that's fair? How do we get there without creating, I want to say, karmic issues or emotional wounds in ourselves or other people? Or how do we get there without unintended consequences that unintended consequences, like things we can't see, things we didn't anticipate, because we took action in a way that wasn't upright. This could also be something coming back to you. Oh my gosh, look at this. Something coming back to you, some sort of decision that you've made, or some way, something that's been unfair being more fair. Something that's been out of balance coming into balance, or there's either a need for justice or justice. I feel like justice is arriving, some sort of fairness, some sort of balance, some sort of equality is arriving, and it's arriving with truth, because here we have the sword of truth, clear, precise truth and communication. Maybe you just want to be treated fairly in a way, and justice is either like fabulous because we did right and we're waiting for something to get balanced out, or we did wrong and we're understanding that there are consequences to actions. So justice is about these consequences to actions. And I guess right and wrong seems a little simplistic too. Like, it can be hard to figure out in the moment sometimes it's clear and sometimes it's not clear. And sometimes the justice can be quite surprising, especially if we felt that our intentions were good, but our actions had consequences that we weren't quite aware of. Who you are in this situation, you are Queen of Swords. You know what you think, you know what you want. And maybe this is you bringing in this communication, because we have this glowing sword here. Look, it's like this Justice card. This is also Libra energy too, sometimes. Look, this is almost the same character here, this angel, this purity, this angel coming in with this truth and this clarity that's gonna clear something out, create some fairness, create some balance to a situation, balancing the scales of justice. So maybe you know what you think, though. I mean, over here, neither of these are very benevolent angels of truth. They're just very much justice too, right? Very much focused. Neither of these justices, both of these justices have this clear vision, a very clear vision. And both of them are holding a sword, a very clear idea, and a very clear communication of a clear idea. Neither one of these cards gives a rip how this information is perceived or received. They're both just very focused on their job, which is to communicate, to know what they think, and to communicate what they think. And somehow it like balances out a situation or creates some sort of justice. But who you are is just someone that knows what they think. Knows what they think, knows what they want, and communicates very clearly. That's what you're doing. You're communicating very clearly. That's how you're showing up here. You're showing up here actually as justice. And maybe, you know, you're trying to be fair, and you're trying to be fair by communicating clearly. But the Queen of Swords, we just had the King of Swords, and the Queen of Swords is very different because the Queen of Swords doesn't feel a strong need to be faithful to extenuating circumstances or peddle things very softly. The Queen of Swords is just coming out with it. There's just so much focus on what you think and what you want to say. So there's not a lot of like trying to, like this Justice card has trying to balance something out, but this Queen of Swords has just like, this is just the way it is, and this is what I think. And there's not a lot of effort being put into pussyfooting around with a communication with what you need to say. So your best path forward here is going to be 8 of Pentacles, doing the work. It's kind of repetitive work. It's kind of focusing on your work, focusing on the work you have to do. Maybe that work has to do with communication. Maybe that work has to do with clear communication. Or maybe there's a little bit of like knowing what you think. Okay, know what you think. Now just getting to work on something. So this could, focusing on money, focusing on earning money, focusing on how you earn that money. I mean, it can be repetitive work, but it's also really very much part of yourself, part of who you are, bringing that into the world. And there's work involved in that. But this is very rewarding work. So your best path forward is really rewarding work and finding. It won't be like the world's most expressive work, which is really interesting because you're coming here as very expressive and very clear-minded and clear-tongued here. But this 8 of Pentacles is your best path forward is just to get to work, to be productive, to be very productive. All right, Gemini. Cancer, what have we got here for you? All right, Cancer. Oh, how did we get here? Well, the overall situation is not a major arcana for you. It's Ace of Earth. It's the beginning. It's like a new job, a new situation, a new home, some sort of new reality for you. It's just the beginning. It can go a long ways. We're just at the beginning of something. We've just crested this hill and gotten a glimpse of the path before us. We can see it's actually taken quite a bit of work here. This is really interesting because the Ace of Earth in many decks, to me, has a sense of all of this energetic work having gone before it. Energy work, emotional work, heart work, yeah, and then and a lot of work gets up to this point until we get to this Pentacle, and then Ace of Earth comes in. Now it's a reality. Now it's emerged. Now we can see the path before us. We can see where we're going. We get a glimpse. So you are getting a glimpse of some sort of new reality, some sort of path forward, some sort of maybe even a new job, something like that. Just beginning this new path forward. Who are you in the situation? I love it. You are the Knight of Pentacles, which often has, except for in this one, I'm seeing a different card here, but I'm seeing a different version of this. The Knight of Pentacles, this is basically the Knight of Pentacles standing on this precipice, looking at the path ahead. Nine of Pentacles doesn't move. They're a planner. Look at all these check marks. Okay, got that check, got that check, got that check. You're a planner, an envisioner, seeing. So both of these just basically have you, this is really fascinating because Gemini's first 2 cards, I think, were basically the same card as well. Both of these have you seeing where you want to go, seeing the path ahead, checking up boxes, and being extremely practical. Both of these actually have you as very slow moving. This is glimpsing the path ahead, and this is just making sure you're prepared. So you may have a new job. This would be like having a new job, but making sure you've got your checklist by the door before you go of everything you're going to need that day. This isn't about a lot of fast movement, a lot of fast action. This is about sort of planning the way forward. So who you're showing up as someone that's a little bit stubborn, a little bit not moving very fast, kind of moving a little slow, but someone with a strong vision and can see where they're going. So I like this energy, especially when we have something going on in the real world, and then we're going to approach it from this very real world perspective. We're not jumping in with both feet. We're being very cautious, very careful, getting the vision, understanding what we're seeing before we go. This would be like someone whose job it is to like diffuse bombs or something. Okay, I just got this job diffusing bombs. You know what I'm going to do though? I'm going to go really, really slowly and make sure I know what I'm doing and I understand everything before I start rushing in there. I'm going to do my internship, or I'm going to do my apprenticeship here, and it's going to take a long time. I'm not leaping into anything. In part because I can see the path before me. The path before me is long, it's fraught, and I don't need to rush. I can make sure I've dotted my I's and crossed my T's. So there's no rushing vibe here. You are definitely not rushing. You're being very cautious as you move forward. Your best path forward, though, is very carefully. Moving very carefully. That's your best path forward. Like, there's not going to be easy answers. There's going to be a little bit of a mishmash. Nothing's going to be the way you thought it was going to be. You're going to have to make some sacrifices. Your best path forward is just, the best I can say is it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be what you thought it was going to be like. So there are going to be difficult choices, difficult decisions, where, it's going to be like, I want that, but then I have to give up that, but I want that, but then I have to give up that. So you're just going to be sort of picking your way forward through sort of an unfortunate situation, or through this. I mean, no wonder you're standing up here like, okay, here's the path ahead. Here's where you're standing here with this vista. You have a very clear idea of where you want to go. Nobody's shooting at this stag here, though. She's going over here. Look, we've got deers here. We've got 2 deers. You have a very clear idea of where you want to go with something. This feels very work-like. It looks very work-like, but there's almost a sense of a relationship, I guess, with this match set of deers here. So you have a lot of clarity. You are moving not at all, very slowly. But this makes sense because this is an inhospitable landscape. This is not easy. This is not easy going forward. This forest isn't the way you left it. The landscape's very different, and this poor deer is just picking its way forward through some sort of no man's land of where nothing's very abundant, nothing's the way it's used to. It's a very strange land that's not really built for your needs, for who you are and who you're coming in here as. So no wonder you're standing here kind of plotting your course forward, because it is going to be a little bit of a difficult course forward. So, but that's why you're standing here and planning it out. You realize you've got a bit of an obstacle course in front of you, and the choices aren't going to be easy. Oh my gosh, my door just opened. The choices aren't going to be easy. And so that's why you're showing up here as very slow, very methodical, and trying to be very clear-headed and planning out every step before you take it, because the steps aren't. It's not easy. It's not easy, and there's not a clear path through. That's why you're standing on this precipice, looking over it, trying to figure out what the best route forward. Because there's not a perfect route. There's not a path laid out before you. All right. And Leo. Okay, overall situation is requiring patience from you. Adjustment period. You're in some sort of neither here nor there adjustment period. You are being asked to have a lot of patience with the situation. Wait for your turn. Wait for it to be ready. So that's the overall situation, is waiting patiently, impatiently, watching yourself lose patience, trying to regain it. You're in a hold pattern, stasis, just trying to, okay, it is what it is. Here you are. So yeah, the situation is requiring a lot of patience. It's definitely testing your patience. I feel, though, that although you may be impatient, time may be on your side. Time may be nurturing the situation. Time may be exactly what the situation wants and needs. Time may be building anticipation. I feel like time here is nurturing. And this is where, you know, you're feeling impatient, but at the same time, you want this to go slowly. If you knew, you would want it to go slowly. Let time nurture the situation. It wants to. That's what it's doing here. The situation is being made better by the passage of time. And I mean, you can use that time any way you want. You can bitch and moan and complain about it, or you can, you know, build your faith, spend time in gratitude, especially gratitude for the way that this time is taking care of you. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a hurry. Don't rush this at all. There is just really, really nurturing energy in the time something's taking. You may be in a time out, and the longer you're there, the better off you're going to be. I mean, not forever, right? But spending as long as you can. There's like a sense of time out of time, or there's a sense of, it's actually a very special time, even though it may not feel like it. It's a lucky time. This waiting is actually quite lucky. Reminds me of like going to an amusement park with your kids and you're waiting in line, and you're waiting in line for a really long time. And the ride's really fun, but that waiting in line, you can end up talking, end up showing each other things on your phones. It can actually be the more bonding part of it. I know that sounds weird, but that's what I'm getting from this card, is that this waiting is actually, it's actually kind of what you're there for. You think you're waiting for something else, but the waiting for that thing is actually creating the thing that you think that thing is going to create. So it's allowing what you really want to happen naturally. That's what I'm getting. It's like the conversation you end up having in line with your kids. It's better than the ride, right? The ride is almost like a head fake, I want to say. Like, yeah, we're going on this, but the real prize is waiting with them in line and getting to talk to them and having this purpose to standing together and staring at each other in the face. Like having a purpose. The ride just gives you the purpose to hang out with the person. That's the metaphor that I'm getting for you. Who are you? You are a page. You're a little baby. You're just learning something. You're a student. You're a student of studentness. So you might be eager to graduate, but really the juice is right where you're at, where you want to be. You're learning, you're understanding things, you're learning how to communicate things, you're getting your wings, really, is what we're seeing. And this is taking time for you to learn something. There's messages here. There's messages coming in. There's messages for you to communicate. You're gathering your understanding and your knowledge of something. It's like you're calling it in, this knowledge and this understanding and this clarity. It's also about communication. So in a way, that sort of idea of we're waiting for something, but the something is just giving the opportunity for us to be in a space And that space is the actual prize. This is just giving us the purpose to have that space. So in that space is when you're gathering ideas, when you're learning something, learning how to talk about something, learning what you think about something. You are in very much a learning phase here. You are a student of something. You're a student and you're reading something, you're receiving messages. In the student vibe, you're receiving messages, but you're also learning how to communicate them. But more importantly is the receiving. The communicating them is just like, it's like a conversation where there might be a little bit of miscommunication. So someone's saying, hey, this is what I'm saying. And then they're like, so tell me what you heard me say. And depending on how badly you botch that, we either go back to the beginning or we get to continue on to the next part of the conversation. But who really thinks that clearly in conversations? I don't. So, but this is more of the receptive. I feel that you're being receptive here. You're learning things, you're absorbing new information, and you're integrating it into who you already are and who you've already become. This is taking time. This is not a fast process. This is taking a lot of time. You're like building these wings of thought and some sort of theory or some sort of ideas about something, but it's like one feather at a time. So it's taking a lot longer than you thought, but you're learning. And then the best path forward, 10 of Pentacles, reverse. So this is basically, it's not over. So 10 of Pentacles in the upright would be something completing, something ending, and having been successful. This is something has not been successful yet. You have not achieved the success of the situation yet, which we already knew because we're being asked to have patience. You still have a ways to go. There isn't, and you haven't ended. Nobody's retiring here. Nobody's quitting. You haven't received the rewards for the work you've already put in. But that's because there's just more to do here. You haven't received rewards for, I mean, you might even be waiting for a check or something, waiting for the rewards to come in. Having put a lot of work into something, but it's not over. So your best path forward is, I feel like, continued patience. And you could be waiting to receive something, waiting to receive a message, waiting to receive, like I said, a check, or waiting to receive something. You're trying to understand something, trying to get at something, trying to see something clearly, you're waiting for a communication, you're receiving a communication, but it's not here yet. And you need to be patient. You probably feel like you've put in all the work, but this waiting is actually for your benefit. So your best path forward is to continue putting in the work. Do not end something, do not complete something. Continue to remain busy. I see a keep going vibe with this 10 of Pentacles in reverse. All right. Next up is Virgo. All right, Virgo. Ooh, the situation star, a lucky moment. The light's all shining on you right now. The star card, oh, I love that we have a cracked pot in the star card here, because this is how I see this, right? What's the Leonard Cohen quote? Like, the cracks are where the light gets in, something like that. That's how I see the star card often, is this kind of shift in the grid, just a glitch in the grid that allows us to receive a message, to receive a lucky moment, to see something, to understand something, to be in the right place at the right time. Where normally our life would be having us everything goes as planned, as expected, the buses run on time, the lights are all synced, the parking spots, work out. I mean, it's just like this sort of grid-like existence that we all have. And I love that there's a crack in the pot she's holding, because that's how I see the star card. It's this crack that allows for something else to happen, allows for some sort of lucky moment. Something shifts, something happens, there's a glitch somewhere, and we get this message, we get this clarity of we are in the right place at the right time. Star can be a blessing, a wish coming true, an opening, a lucky moment. It's being in the spotlight or allowing someone else to be in the spotlight. That's really fun, being someone's like hype man there too. That's very fun as well. So there's just, it's a lucky moment, it's a wish coming true, and it's an opening in sort of the grid. There's something where it allows us, and we have to look for those. We have to be open to those, right? Otherwise we'll be like, that's annoying, that's not going according to plan. But that's actually might be the opportunity, might be the opening for something that you actually really wanted. That might be the opening for the wish to come fulfilled, is this crack in the routine, this thing going wrong, this glitch in the system is the opening, right? And so if we're not open to that, if we're not open to the infinite possibilities, the way these wishes can come true, all the ways that they can come to us, we might be like, I have a wish, I want it to come true, and this is the only path, right? It reminds me of like, you know, how a lot of cities have will have these places. In Columbia, South Carolina, it was an area called 5 Points. There's a neighborhood called 5 Points there. And all these points come together. So much like the star, much like this compass of the star. And then we can only see, we're like, yes, this is going to be my lucky moment. It's going to come from this direction. It's going to be this way. But in fact, there are these infinite possibilities of where this can come from. And sometimes only through a crack and a break in the system, in our routines, do we actually get an opportunity to like, wait, what was that sound? What crashed over there? And then we can see a whole different way something can come in, and our blessing can come in, and we can have the wish fulfillment. So to me, the star card always relates to a glitch in the system that allows for an opening that you weren't expecting, an unexpected opening, an unexpected inflow of good luck. Then we have, who are you? Oh, Virgo, you're you. You're you. You're exactly who you need to be, exactly where you need to be. You are King of Earth. Slow, steady. King of Earth, the planner. King of Earth has seen the seasons, seen many seasons come and go. I love this king. Oh my gosh. He's even got like a mushroom growing off his antlers. This is he's got, what do you call those points? Multi-pointed king here. I mean, he's seen it all. And through it all, he's planned, he's been successful. He's planned, in a lot of ways, King of Earth is really good at planning for worst case scenario, as well as best case scenario. He's planned for both of them. He's really seen things. This has a lot of leadership. You have a lot of leadership here. A lot of leadership in work, a lot of leadership. And typically, King of Earth would be leadership in work, in a work situation. And it comes from wisdom. I mean, the King of Earth, though, does worry a lot and is quite a planner. And that does take its toll, that planning for worst case, planning for best case, and being able to take advantage of both. But he's seen enough seasons that he's got a pretty good, like, as you age, you get like this statistical analysis going on, like your own statistics, your own abilities. I mean, be open to something that's way outside your statistical probabilities. But the King of Earth, very steady, very slow, very much invests slowly, invests methodically in the future. And now he's arrived in the future. He is here. He's made it through everything. Very steady, reliable king here, but also a little bit of a warrior. King of Earth can also be a little bit controlling. Does not like things being too far out of control here. Likes things to be very regular, very regimented. And that's how you're coming in, is leadership, real world leadership skills. You may be a little crotchety, a little grumpy. Because our jobs change who we are, our jobs. I mean, I think it's very interesting how careers can change people, and how it changes the way people think. It changes the way people perceive the world. It's like in law school, the divorce rate's very high. And my perception of that is because people are changing how they view the world. They're changing fundamental views. They're challenging things. They're learning how to think like a lawyer. So they may have gotten into a relationship with one mind, but as they go along this path and the way they think and view the world changes and shifts on purpose, intentionally, so that they can succeed, that partner that they picked before may not be appropriate after, because the mind changes how it functions and what it's paying attention to in order to be successful. So I feel like you may have taken some hits there, as far as, like, I wouldn't say losing parts of yourself, but I would, because that's what came into my mind, is losing parts of yourself in order to be successful, having lost some pieces along the way of who you used to be, some more carefree pieces of who you used to be, because this King of Earth definitely carries the world on his shoulders here. And there's been like some loss of innocence and some loss of joy in that process of becoming successful. So wherever you're successful, you know, there have been trade-offs here. And the best path forward, 5 of Wands. This is funny because traditionally 5 of Wands in the reverse is like a brawl, like a physical brawl. Like, this is like conflict, like, okay, we're arguing, everybody's got their own opinion, engaging in conflict. But supposedly this is supposed to be like an actual brawl, actual fisticuff fights. That is not a message I am capable of delivering, or I would be delivering. So what I'm seeing in the reverse here is conflict being laid to rest, actually. We're going to go the opposite direction of conflict. Conflict not being... laying it to rest. But what I heard most of all when I saw this card was laying a solid foundation. But I feel like what I'm also hearing is like laying the conflict down to rest and building from someplace more solid, right? This has, and the upright has all this tumult and all of this angst and all of this emotional stuff mixed with motivations, mixed with ideas, all competing with each other. But the 5 of Wands reversed here, I'm actually seeing more like calming down some sort of conflict. And maybe this is your job. You're bringing the leadership to this, like calming down some conflict, creating coherence, creating group coherence. That's what I'm seeing, is bringing a group together to create some sort of coherent, where things work together, not against each other, where everyone's, I see like a team leader here that's bringing coherence. I want to say bringing in conflicting ideas. That's right. What was I just reading about? Leadership where like the group is stronger when there are, like, in a way, devil's advocates or people that disagree, or there's a wide diversity. So we can't like maintain that diversity. The group has to come together and move together. But good leadership is going to like involve incorporating ideas, other ideas from the beginning. So not just coming and saying, this is our idea, does anybody object? But incorporating other opinions. And even if they aren't incorporated early on, hearing them out actually creates a stronger overall cohesive idea. So I feel like this is like bringing cohesion to a group of very diverse ideas, allowing for those diverse ideas to inform and strengthen each other rather than being necessarily competing and not meshing, allowing them to come in together and sort of inform each other. Even if we end up just going with these ones, the fact that these ones existed made these ones stronger and helped bring in some questions. So I see you bringing in like some coherence to what's been conflicted situation. So in a way, I see like you bringing in some leadership here. So the kings are going to be action-oriented, penetrative force. So you're bringing this stability and this planning into and creating a cohesive sort of group plan with with a bunch of varying, you're basically synthesizing a bunch of very different ideas that could be in conflict with each other, but the way you're coming in here is you're going to be able to handle this and bring some leadership to all of these sort of kind of wild ideas. So, all right, Virgo, I hope that that's helpful for you. We're going to pause here a second. All right, Libra. Let's see, all my cards fell on the floor. It was very fun. So, freshly shuffled, this is the situation. This is who you are in the situation. And this is your best path forward. Okay. The situation, subconscious issues, Libra. I think we hit this pretty heavy in the main readings last, I guess, 2 weeks ago. Ooh, a lot of self-reflection here. That's the situation. The situation is dealing with subconscious issues, reflecting on choices and decisions you've made. And there are all these doors. And, you know, doors that open and doors that are locked is what I'm getting here. Doors that are open and doors that are locked, and how you respond to open doors and how you respond to locked doors. And how that's created who you are and how you've managed that. There's also like seeing the world through who you are. Right? The whole world's a Rorschach blotch and we're just providing interpretation to everything. That kind of idea. So some psychological issues here is what we're dealing with. The situation that we're talking about is psychological, emotional, maybe intuitive, maybe how you deal with your intuition. A lot of self-reflection here. As you've navigated things. Yeah. So the overall situation here is psychological. Who are you in the situation? You are showing up as King of Wands. I like this. Especially with this moon here. King of Wands, highly intuitive and moving from a place of intuition, taking leadership, acting in the world from a place of being very connected to your intuition. And very connected to your subconscious, and using all of that for growth and movement into the world. Understanding, I think, the dualities that are within you, the locked doors, the unlocked doors, the reality, the images of reality, the reversals of reality, right? When we see ourselves in a mirror, we don't see ourselves, we see a reversed image of ourselves. So it can often be a little weird to see yourself because to see yourself in a different way that's not a mirror, because it looks very different to you because you're all switched up. So there's a sense of the King of Wands is also, you know, the wands can be sexual, creative, spiritual, all of that kind of sits interconnected in our psyches here. And since we're dealing with our psyche, we're dealing with this. So there could be leadership in any one of those, showing leadership and initiative. I guess that's the main thing I'm seeing is initiative and movement in the world, in the real world. That's what a king means to me. Initiative and movement into the real world, into reality from a place that's actually quite grounded, dealing with creativity. So you could be taking the lead in a creative activity, maybe taking the lead in a sexual activity, maybe taking the lead in spiritual activity, anything like that. There is like activity, movement here and growth out of this place of this inner landscape, out of this intuition. So whereas a queen would be like, yeah, I'm sitting with my intuition, I know, I'm feeling it. This king is like, and now I move forward, and now I get people to follow me. Now, people follow the King of Wands, people follow that lead here, not because The King of Wands is saying, hey, I'm the leader. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. We just had King of Pentacles in Virgo, and that would be more that energy of like, listen, I know what I'm talking about. These are my bona fides. King of Wands nobody really gives a crap about the King of Wands resume because it's more of a vibe and people follow that vibe. And it's like you're realizing that you have something that you can provide here, that you can give to the world, that you can bring into the world based on all of this, like, into, not the world, not everybody, but like your reality. Your vibe is starting to create your reality. And all of this work you've done, this subconscious work and psychological work, is starting to create your reality. You are creating your reality out of that work that has already gone on. Best path forward, 5 of Cups, letting go of the past, healing, grieving, going through a grief process, letting go of something that's been lost. Okay, that was lost, that got broken. I don't think you're unaware of this. Look at, there's so much duality here. There's so much, right? We have the 2 crescent moons here talking about intuition, talking about things we are getting a glimpse of, but we can't see the whole thing. Here we have the 2 sort of fuller movements of that. Honestly, I mean, they're coming across as testicles. So, yep, that's what I'm seeing here. And sort of that, there's like two sources here. And you're glimpsing these 2 sources, or these 2 dualities. You're moving out into the world with your intuition, with your understanding, and you're providing leadership here out of this sort of duality. And your best path forward this is grieving the past and turning to look towards what is still available. Something's been lost. I mean, but the 5 of Cups kind of sits in there, but it's not quite as balanced as we're seeing over here with the Moon and the King of Wands, right? 5 of Cups can't be balanced because we can't have 2.5 cups are whole and 2.5 cups are lost. The situation slightly favors more having been lost than more being preserved. But 5 of Cups is sort of cleaning up that loss and then turning towards what still remains. So it's a grief process, but it's a grief process with that ends on a hopeful note, that ends on an optimism. So we go through this loss. We go through something, we're dealing with something in our subconscious, or we're dealing with our psyche issues, evident by the Moon and the King of Wands. And then we're headed towards a very optimistic place. That's the whole purpose of this, dealing with these subconscious issues, having that movement come into the world. And the King of Wands I'm seeing is the same thing here. We have 2 cups though. We have 2 cups here left in the 5 of Cups. So we have the 3 broken, but we have 2 moons, 2 balls here, and 2 cups here. We have, so there's a lot of mirroring, a lot of doubling, but there has been loss. So the best path forward is to grieve what needs to be grieved. It's almost like feel all the feelings. But the whole purpose of this is to clean up the broken glass, clean up the mess, so that we can just now sit down and enjoy the 2 full cups that we have ahead of us, that we still have. So not everything's been lost, but your job is your best path forward is to clean up this mess, which I feel like you're already doing. It's probably a psychological mess. Clean up this psychological mess so that you can enjoy what is available, enjoy what's here now, and let the past go. So continuing to do the work, I guess, that you already are doing. But it's all subconscious. It all has to do with psyche, psychology, that kind of thing. Cleaning up the past so that you can enjoy the future. All right. Oh, wait. We're not doing it that way. All right, Scorpio. This is the situation. This is how you're showing up. This is your best path forward. All right. The situation, Magician, something's happening. Card number 1. Something's happening. All the elements have come together. We are creating. We are co-creating with the universe right now. We are creating something. We're building something. We're bringing something to fruition. We have assembled the parts. We know what we need to know. We're feeling it. We're feeling it. We've got the resources we need. We've got the energy we need, and now it's all coming together, and we're creating something new. We're creating our own life. We're creating our own life out of all of this intention and feeling, and we're intentionally creating something. And there's a moment here. Sometimes our words are involved, like how we frame something, how we talk about something. It's happening. It's happening. Who are you? You are the Knight of Cups. Okay. You're the Knight of Cups here. You're bringing in some emotions, some feelings. This Knight of Cups has very much relationship vibes. This could be friendship. This could be romantic relationship. This can be a lot of different things, something we connect with. But Knights are about communicating and about bringing something forward, moving something forward. They bring in a lot of courage. Cups are about emotions, about feelings, about genuine feelings, real feelings. And whether these are bad feelings or good feelings or whatever we want to label them, they're just feelings. They're here to bring us information. So Magician, yeah, I got a little message myself in my little head here. So Magician, bringing something's coming to fruition. Knight of Cups, we're talking about feelings, bringing something forward. We're bringing the cup. Right? So the feelings, the emotion, everything's been assembled and we are bringing the cup. That's our contribution to this sort of potluck or this party that we've already started here. We've sent out the invitations, we've prepared everything, and now people are starting to show up. And now we have this Knight of Cups energy, bringing in these emotions, bringing in these feelings, and expressing them, expressing our feelings about something. That's you. You're expressing feelings about the situation and things coming together. Maybe you're sharing your joy about it. Maybe you're sharing your concerns. Best path forward was actually Ace of Pentacles in reverse, which seems a little odd. I feel like, so the situation is the Magician. We're assembling the parts. We're getting everything ready to create something. We are in the act of creation. You are bringing the cup. You're talking about your feelings. Best path forward is not to make it a reality yet. We're not going to bring the pentacle in yet. We're not making it a reality. Right now, we just need to talk and feel. Talking and feeling is what you're doing right now, but we're not. This is really fascinating because the situation is bringing something together. And the best path forward is not, don't start yet though. We're still assembling some parts. We still got to get some things together. But we are, so I feel like the Magician card is here to say, you are making something happen. You're on the right path. You've set your intentions. You're assembling the parts. You're bringing things all together. This is, the Magician card to me is always the mise en place cook, where you've got you've got everything. You've chopped all your onions. You've got your tofu all ready to go. You've got your oil here. You've got your spices all measured out. You've got everything ready to go. Apparently we're just having onions and tofu in this meal. There's a lot more though, right? I just didn't mention it. But you're not supposed to actually get started yet. And there's a little bit of a hold. Yes, keep assembling the parts. Keep getting this going. Maybe even keep communicating about your feelings, keep sorting this stuff out. But there's a hold here. Do not actually get cooking. Or it's like the last thing that you need to get ready, and this is like, you're not ready, like, don't chop that yet. Hold off. It's like one of the things with mise en place is that you can see if you forgot to get any ingredients. And this is like saying you did forget an ingredient. We're not going to be able to start cooking. Someone's got to go to the store and get like some sort of crucial ingredient here. We're missing a resource. We're missing something. And do not start this process until yeah, I mean, you know, take it for what it's worth, you know, a general reading. I may or may not have picked up on your energy signature. I may or may not, you know, there may be interference with the message. I don't know, but that's what I'm getting, is that there's something in the real world that's not ready to start yet. Some part of this isn't ready to be manifested yet. So your best path forward is to like sort on this path towards bringing something into reality. Feel all your feelings. Get all the information you can from your feelings. They're trying desperately to communicate with you. They're trying to give you actually crucial information. Our feelings are information. We don't see that way in our sort of Western system here, that feelings are actually information and they're actually crucial information. So you can have all the pie charts and spreadsheets that you want. That's all good information. But feelings are also crucial information, and you are communicating that crucial information. So you're feeling your feelings and you're talking about your feelings. Your best path forward, though, is not to take any concrete steps in reality. Not yet, anyway. It's definitely not saying never, because we are on this path to creating a reality. But we're saying that at this moment, don't like this is like getting really excited about an investment opportunity. Like you really want to be rich, you really want to be a baller or whatever, and you're really excited about this investment opportunity. This is like, do not invest in that. Do not actually put the money in that. And I mean, this is the way I operate. I'll listen to any story. You know, okay, that's interesting. All right. Yeah. Because I'm relating to whoever's doing the talking. I'm feeling their vibe. I'm with them. We're communicating. We're connecting. And then they're like, yeah, I just need you to, you just need to invest this. You just what was it one time? Just come with me to my car. And I was like, oh, whoa, hun, that's where this conversation stops. I'm not coming with you to your car. Like, that's too much of a risk. I'm not actually risking my physical body here. I'll listen to your little sob story, but I'm not going to, it wasn't even a car, it was a van. I'm not going to your beat up van with you. Like, we can have a chat here. We can emotionally connect here. But there's no way I'm putting my body on the line for talking to you. That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Or, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, what a cool idea. That's actually, no, I'm not going to invest in that. So that's a little bit of what I'm getting here is like, cool idea. Yeah, I do want to go in that direction. Yeah, that does sound interesting to me. But right at this point, this is not the opportunity for you. We're not investing in this. We can talk about it. We can communicate about it. We can feel about it, we can get excited about it, but we're not investing right now. That's what I've got for you, Scorpio. All right, Sagittarius, what do we got here? All right, Sagittarius, actually definitely came out reversed there, so we're gonna leave that like that. Oh, this is interesting because this deck, I don't use this deck very often. I forget even what it's called, but temptation. I was just thinking about this. This is the devil card. Temptation. The situation, Sagittarius, is temptation. Something looks really good, something that's really nice, and you know it's bad for you. You know it's bad for you. You know, like, this connection is toxic. You know that that you shouldn't be drinking. You know there's something here that's very tempting, and you know it's not good for you. You know it's going to kind of make you sick. You know you tend to overindulge. You know you're not going to feel better in the morning about it. There's going to be some kind of walk of shame going on. Either, back from the refrigerator or back to your car. There's something here that is very tempting and it looks really good, but I think you're going to regret it later. So you, in this situation, you definitely came out reverse, and I felt it. Like, I turned it around, I was like, that's not, no. But it doesn't really matter because we're still a page either way. We're learning, we're inexperienced, but you came out reverse, Page of Swords. Really naive a little bit. Not really seeing a situation very clearly, not really thinking very clearly, which definitely temptation does. Part of temptation seems to be to cloud our thinking. Temptation comes with like a little bit of brain fog. It's like, you can't think clearly now. This temptation is here. You can't figure it out. You can't think clearly, Sagittarius. Page of Swords coming in, not being able to, not learning something, not really getting it, not catching on to something, not being able to think clearly or communicate very clearly. Yeah, you just have some very cloudy thinking here. And there's also some immaturity. There's an immature vibe with a little bit of clouded thinking, which that comes with the territory with temptation. I mean, it wouldn't be a temptation if it didn't start immediately clouding our thinking and clarity and what we thought we knew and who we thought we are and how we had decided we were going to handle that situation every single time it comes up from now on, and what we're going to say every time that situation comes up. What do we say? We've rehearsed it, we've got it, but now the temptation is actually very real. And now we've lost our words. We can't remember what were we going to say? How are we going to deal with this? You know what? I do know I like that. I do know I like that, but I thought I was going to deal with this a different way. I can't even remember anymore. Okay, that's where you're showing up here as not being able to think clearly or not being able to see something very clearly. You're just not seeing it very clearly. And there's a little bit of a bumbling student vibe here. Like you don't know where your classes are. You don't know what your schedule is. You don't have your books. An unprepared student. Maybe you were prepared when you left your house, but something happened between here and the front doors of the school. There's temptation. Maybe you smoked weed before school, and you're just not like, now you're a mess. You guys got the only one that was like, this is reversed. Very reversed card. So you're a bit of a mess here. You can't think through this. You're not thinking very clearly. Best path forward, 9 of water. Oh, I like this. This is being very balanced. Best path forward. Oftentimes, I'm seeing actually another card laid over this one. Meditation is the one I'm seeing. Meditation being very balanced, being proud of yourself, doing something that makes you feel proud. And I think that that's going to be resisting this temptation, sticking with your plan, although you're showing up as very confused. You're going to be really proud of yourself. You know, there's something about self-respect here. Self-respect and being able to be proud of yourself. I almost want to say giving yourself some bragging rights for resisting this temptation, even though they clouded your thinking. You want to do something that you're proud of. Having self-respect, having some pride. I just see like self-respect, having some self-respect here. Responding to your higher self. You're going to be basically I'm seeing resist temptation. I know it's hard. I know it's clouding your thinking right now. Resist the temptation. You're going to be really proud of yourself. You're going to be very happy with yourself. You're going to have a lot of respect for yourself. And right, our relationship with ourselves is the most important relationship of our life because we can't divorce ourselves. We can't leave ourselves. We break trust with ourselves plenty of times, right? And it's hard to repair. It's hard to trust yourself again once you go against what you know is best for you, what you're clear on. You have to rebuild trust with yourself. You have to rebuild respect for your own self. And so having that self-respect, having that trust in yourself, and being very proud, doing something that makes you proud, that's your to-do list. All right, Capricorn. Okay, I see. We got another reversal and we're going to keep it. Capricorn, the situation is the Chariot. Seeing something you want and going for it, being very goal-oriented, right? This badger sees these chickens, wants these chickens. He's got the chicken. He's going for the chicken. He knows exactly what he wants. He's very clear. His heart's very clear on where he wants and what he wants to go. Being The Chariot is being very goal-oriented, being very destination-oriented and goal-oriented, and having that, which doesn't seem hard for any Capricorn I've ever known, to be goal-oriented, having that destination in mind, seeing it very clearly, wanting it and going after it. You've got the means to move forward here. Yep, you have a goal in mind. But who are you, though? You are the Queen of Wands. This is fascinating because in my personal experience, being goal-oriented actually takes me out of relationship with myself, with the moment, with the now. And that's what I see here with this Queen of Wands. Someone who is not being very intuitive. You know, I'm not saying goal orientation is bad, but for me personally, and I've observed for many people, it may or may not be true for you, but it can take you out of being present with yourself, being present in the moment. You know, if you have a goal, and let's say you just broke your ankle and it's in a cast, and you had a goal though that you kind of wanted to get your whole place cleaned up by the weekend, and you were told to stay off of the cast. Now, Queen of Wands in the upright would be someone who's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to stay in touch with my body. I'm going to stay in the here and now. That goal is gone. My goal now is healing and health. My goal now is being whole and making myself whole. That's the goal. And insofar as cleaning my house interferes with that goal, then we won't do that. This, though, I see that there's a goal here, and it has you out, not taking care of yourself, not in touch with yourself, not in touch with, right? So if you're naturally goal-oriented, the secret to this is to switch the goal to like full health and well-being, being here and now. Like, you have to trick yourself by having a different goal, right? But this is like this external goal, like having the whole place cleaned up by the weekend. Like, that's this external goal, but it's got you out of your zone. It's got you out of sorts. It's got you out, not being who you are, not being in touch with your own intuition, with your own needs. It's pulled, this goal that you see so clearly here has pulled you out of being present with yourself and being present with the moment. Not all goals do that all the time, right? That's why being goal-oriented isn't necessarily bad, but this goal has you out of your zone, not being present with yourself. Where are you headed? Six of Pentacles, generosity, reciprocation, receiving. You know, too much is given, much will be required. There's a sense of generosity and there's balancing energies, and that balance can come with charity. So, you know, you may actually be laid up and not taking care of yourself, and then here comes someone to help take care of you, or you're not being very generous. You have a goal, and you're withholding. You're not being generous, but there's some sort of generosity, either receiving or giving here. Like, you had a savings goal, and now someone's requested something, and in your heart you want to give, but that's going to interfere with your savings goal. But this has you like rectifying that by understanding that money has to flow and that we can't be very rigid. So this is a resource distribution, sharing of resources, generosity coming in here. So either you being generous and you opening up, but I mean, you being generous, both of these people have their hands open. So they're both opening up. One's opening to give and one's opening to receive. You may need to open to, you may be someone who needs to open to receive as well. But I find it interesting too, because here someone's very much clinging to their goal, clinging to their ambition, to what they want. Here we have the clenched hand. We have two basically clenched hands here. Here we have two open hands, right? And that's the rhythm of life, the clenching and the releasing, the clenching and the releasing. It's not that clenching is bad, clenching is fine. And that's what I keep getting. There's no value judgment on the clenching. There's just the only problem with the clenching is that it has you not in the flow of life, not in the flow, not in your own flow. It has disrupted you from your own flow. So, you know, flow, the heart pumps by clenching and releasing, clenching and releasing, clenching and releasing. And that's what creates life. And the Six of Pentacles too has this like holding and releasing, and this flow. That's what gets the blood pumping, that rhythm, that flow there, and you're out of the flow because there's some sort of goal, there's some sort of clenching and clinging, and this is saying something has to open. You have to open to give, and you have to open to receive. We don't stay open all the time. We have to clench, because that provides the power, and the movement in life is sort of some grasping. But the flow also provides the movement, right? We have to stay in motion here, and that's what I see with the Six of Pentacles, is there has to be some sort of motion. There has to be some sort of cling and release, and cling and release, hold, release, and that's some sort of pattern here, or some sort of, that is the flow. So we're not in stasis here, and we're not in stasis here. We're like, the blood's pumping, the resources are flowing. So sometimes we're in a position where we cling and we hold, and sometimes we need to release. And there's something about releasing something that you've been clinging to, and it looks like it might be a goal, it might be something, releasing that and allowing flow, something to flow through, if only for a moment. It's not that you have to be like this and that this is the proper way to be, but this is where you're at. This is not necessarily right. This is just saying there has to be some clench and release. And that's the flow of life, this grasping at something and this letting it go, and this wanting, this wanting, and then this relaxing of the wanting, and the wanting and the relaxing of the wanting. So it's almost like wanting to achieve, and then once you achieve, resting, allowing that. That doesn't mean you'd never want to achieve again. And I think people get that kind of weird, like, I achieved something, and then once I got there, I wasn't happy. Yeah, well, you're not supposed to just stay in stasis. You want to achieve again. You want to do something again. But this has a need for you to let go and open and allow some sort of flow. All right, Aquarius. This is the situation. This is you in the situation. This is the best path forward. All right, Tower reversed. This usually has more of an internal vibe to me, as far as paradigm shifts, how you understand and how you see the world. You've outgrown it. This is no longer viable. We're taking a match to some sort of structure here. This is, and usually, and with the Tower situation, there's something external that's bringing it in. There's something external that is that is shifting your reality, is shaking it up. So earlier we had sort of the boggle image of sort of the, what was it, the world card of these things that have been upset settling down. The Tower card is the boggle game being turned upside down and being shaken up. Okay, we're totally new game. Everything's new. The structure is going to be different. All the letters are going to be different. They're all going to be in different places. Totally new game. So this is not things settling down. This is the shakeup. This is the tossing of all of the blocks and the cubes. This is the knocking over of the block tower. This is something, and when the reverse, there's a sense to me of it being internal. Okay, scratch that way of viewing the world. Scratch that worldview. We're done with that. That got knocked out. Okay, reality came up against your worldview, and guess what wins? Reality always wins. Like what's going on wins. You had this worldview, and it came up against something, and it wasn't stronger than that thing. That thing, like your faith, your beliefs, the way you think you saw the world, something came in and hit it, and it's scattered now. And you're going to have to go through block by block and pick up, okay, do I believe that? Yes. Do I believe that? No. Do I believe that? Yes. And then we're building a new tower over here, a new structure for us to sort of, some new scaffolding for us to build our feelings around and our emotions around over here. But yeah, Tower, some sort of maybe major belief system or way you thought the world worked has been knocked out. It's not working for you anymore. You are coming in as messenger of Earth. This is going to be our Knight of Pentacles. Planning, thinking. This is a very stubborn energy. This is a very getting the lay of the land. Our messengers usually are talking, they're usually moving, they're usually taking courageous action. Messenger of Earth does none of that. He's the outlier here, or she's the outlier here. She's just looking, and look at how skeptical she is. She's like, nice story there. I see. She knows, she sees, she's not moving though. You can tell her whatever lies you want to tell her, you can tell her whatever BS. She's already experienced some BS here. Like, okay, yeah, well, I've already been told some crap. I found out that was all lies. And now I'm just going to sit here and listen and think and analyze what you're saying. So that's basically where you're at right now. You're showing up as analyzing things, thinking things through, but you're not talking. You're not saying anything. You know something's like, it's like you know something's wrong and you know something's a lie and you're really not, you're not engaging with it. You're just sitting there like, I see, but I'm not, it's not, your words can't move me. That's nice. Keep talking, blah, blah, blah. That's nice because I'm seeing things, I'm planning things out, I'm figuring things out for myself. You're not going to come in here and I'm not going to, that's what I'm seeing with this Tower. There's almost like you've seen some BS here. You've seen something, this is not the way the world works. And you're not moving forward and you're not communicating about it. You're just standing there going, yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, keep talking. Okay, I'm making my own plans. I'm seeing my own reality. I'm not allowing someone to tell me what's real anymore. I'm not allowing other people to make definitions for me of how the world works because I've seen through it and I see that it's BS. That's how I'm hearing you right now. But they're just your thoughts. That's what I'm hearing some thoughts right now coming from you, and you're not saying anything, but you're seeing it all. You're very aware. And then we have 10 of Cups, best path forward. 10 of Cups isn't really a path. It's like just a destination. It's just like, be happy with what you've got. Enjoy what you have. Create your own happiness. This is in relation to others, typically. Your best path forward is building something with other people. There is connection. It's not this old thing, though. There's connection here. And 10 of Cups is almost like gratitude. Maybe gratitude for seeing what you saw. Maybe gratitude to your own mind for being able to sort truth from fiction. Maybe gratitude. There's just an overflow of gratitude here is what I'm seeing, this 10 of Cups. Being happy for the connections you have. But there's a sense of, and maybe you saw yourself more clearly with this Tower in reverse. You saw something in your mind more clearly. And this 10 of Cups, to me, it just has gratitude, just being grateful, being in the moment. And that's easier said than done, right? Gratitude is I think, one of the main foundations of a good life is gratitude. It can be so difficult, though. But this is like, it's worth the work. This prize, this trophy is worth the work. The trophy of gratitude and loving your life is worth the work to make that happen, to get there. All right. And last but not least, Pisces. This is the situation. Uh-oh. This is who you are. And this is your best path forward. No, what? All right, Pisces, last but not least, but definitely the craziest. Fool. The situation, no one's taking a risk. No risk. Oh, you're seeing right now. Okay, I see. Oh my God, this actually makes a lot of sense. I see. In the Fool in reverse, we get all we're seeing were distractions, and all we see are the issues, the distractions, the difficulties. We're not seeing the opportunity. There's like a new opportunity here, but we're not seeing the opportunity part of the opportunity. We're seeing the drawbacks of the opportunity. It's like if you went shopping and you were like, oh, that is such a cute dress. But instead of saying, oh, that's such a cute dress, which some part of your mind is like, oh, that's such a cute dress, I'd like to wear that. Some other part of your mind is just like, okay, that's way more expensive than I want. And that's not the perfect, it's not my favorite color, and it's not my favorite length. And you're not seeing the part where it looks good on you, where you like it, where you have some place to wear it. You're not seeing any of that part of it. You're only seeing the cost and that it's not your favorite color and it's not exactly what you would have wanted. If you had designed a dress, if you had designed your dream dress, this probably wouldn't be it. You're not seeing like how happy you feel in it, how great you look in it, how fun it's going to be to wear. You're not seeing any of the opportunity in the opportunity. You're seeing only the risk. So we have a little bit of an overdeveloped risk assessment situation here, where there's an opportunity to take a leap and you're definitely not leaping because the only thing you're seeing is how it can all go wrong. You, though, are showing up in King of Pentacles. So the situation is somebody here is not taking a risk. Somebody here is very much focused on all that can go wrong. But I feel like King of Pentacles isn't wrong here for you, because King of Pentacles is someone who's really seen some stuff here, right? And they're very cautious. They're very careful. They're looking ahead. They're planning ahead. This is how they got where they got, though, by being cautious. I mean, the King of Pentacles is not the fool. He is no fool. He's not leaping. He's looking before he leaps. He never actually leaps. He tiptoes. He tiptoes and he plods, and he moves through the world very carefully, cautiously, step by step. His investments are sure. His steps are sure. He is not an angel investor. Sorry, but he plays it safe. You're playing it safe here. And this is based on past experience. Based on a lot of past experience, you are playing it safe. The hope is that success comes through safety. So this King of Pentacles is safe, is strong, is where they're at because of the way they move. And they have seen how effective it is to move in this way. How different their life looks from other people's who work in more erratic ways and more passionate ways. This you are showing up in this particular situation as very cautious investor of time, successful. So you have a lot to lose here. It's not like you don't have anything. That's why all you're seeing is the loss. Like, you didn't get to be this successful by buying every dress in the store that slightly tickled your fancy, right? You became this successful by really thinking it through, by really assessing, opportunities to wear the dress. What if you have anything, are you going to have to now invest in shoes to wear this dress, or do you have what you need to wear with this? Like, that's sort of, because you don't become successful by jumping on every opportunity, by taking every leap. Every day there are opportunities provided for us that we see, and you've been very choosy, and this has served you well, so you don't really want to give that up for this particular situation. Your best path forward, which had me laughing, is 8 of Swords here. This is self-limiting beliefs. And look how much these swords match this picnic. We have this opportunity for this picnic, but all we're seeing is swords. It's like we've turned the picnic blanket into a bunch of swords. Eight of Swords, this is self-limiting beliefs, ways in which you are, and dealing with those, looking at those. Because this looks like this looks like an opportunity. Why are you being so cautious? Why is that? That's what I'm seeing here with this Eight of Swords, is why are you being so cautious with this opportunity? Do you really need to be being this cautious? Like, if you like the dress this much, and you tried it on, and it looks cute, and you feel good in it, and you have the money, why are you being so reticent to take this opportunity? Do you not trust yourself? You've gotten this far by making very good decisions. So where are you doubting yourself? You've done a good job. You've done a good job so far. So where's the self-doubt coming from? Because you're not moving on this opportunity. You're just seeing, but like I really keep wanting this Fool card to be in the upright. And maybe you legit don't want to spend money on a dress. Well, then why did you come into the store? Why did you pick it up? Why did you try it on? If you truly didn't have the money, why have you gone down this path at all? If you don't have the ability to handle it, to deal with it, why would you do that? So there's something in your mind, though. You're having to look into your mind and sort through your mind, like why this opportunity only looks like a risk and not an opportunity. Maybe you're just not ready for it. Maybe you genuinely, was the whole thing a mistake? I don't know. You came in pretty cautious. Like, you've been pretty cautious so far. It's not like you went shopping every single day and went into every single store, for the last month. It's like, you've been cautious. You've been cautious with your time, with your energy, with your money. So why does this opportunity not look like an opportunity? And it has to do with self-perception. So maybe you just need to see yourself more as the King of Pentacles. You have been cautious. This isn't to say that you need to take the opportunity. This is to say that you need to figure out why you don't see it as an opportunity. But there is like a self-limiting belief here. All right, Pisces, I hope that was helpful for you. All right, well, thanks for coming along with me on this little ride of minis today. I very much appreciate these little tarot shots. Knocked one back here. Maybe a couple. You can check, your different placements if you want. So thank you so much for joining me on this little journey. And I'll see you guys soon in the bigger reads.